Hello students, how are you all? I hope all of you are great. Stay home, be safe, be healthy. Simultaneously do your studies. In previous video we have learned about the microorganism. Our second lesson already we have started. Microorganism, its type, its uses. And this video I'm going to start your next topic, that is harmful microorganism as well as food poisoning, preservatives, then nitrogen cycle. So one by one let us start with the next topic, that is harmful microorganism. Microorganisms are harmful in many ways. Some of the microorganism causes diseases in human beings, plants and animals. Such disease causing microorganisms are called pathogens. Some microorganisms spoiled food, then clothing and leather. Let us study more about their harmful activities. So microorganisms cause diseases in human. Pathogens, you know what I told, pathogens? Pathogens are the disease causing microorganism. When these pathogens enter our body through the air we breathe, okay, the water we drink, the food we eat, they can also get transmitted through the physical contact or direct contact with an infected person or carrier or by an animal. So it is possible how the diseases are passed in healthy body of human being. Now, microbial diseases that can spread from an infected person to other healthy person through air, water, food, physical contact or by animal are called communicable diseases. So I hope you understood, students, what is meant by communicable disease. It is spread by physical contact or the infected person when we get contact with that particular person, and it is possible through air or the water that infected person has drunk, and that one we have used, the food he has contacted and we have eaten that food. So in such a condition, in such situation, the disease is transmitted from infected person to the healthy person. Example of, and that diseases are called as communicable diseases, and example of that communicable diseases are cold, chickenpox, tuberculosis, and now we people are facing the COVID-19. When a person suffering from common cold, he sneezes, then what happen? Fine droplets of moisture carrying thousands of viruses are sprayed in the air. Okay, this is actually mechanism how the healthy person get infected from the infected person. Now, the virus may enter the body of a healthy person while breathing and cause of infection. There are some insects and animals which act as a carriers of this disease causing microbes. One by one we will discuss about the carriers. Okay, first of all, very common, you have always seen, you have always observed and experienced, that is housefly is one such a carrier. The flies sit on the garbage, animal excreta. Pathogens stick on leg of that housefly, and when these flies sit on uncovered food, uh, they may transfer pathogens. Whoever eats the food, that contaminated food, is likely to get sick. Houseflies spread lots of diseases. For example, cholera is spread by housefly, typhoid, dysentery, tuberculosis. So these are the example which are spreading through housefly. Now mosquito. Mosquito, same mechanism is working over here. So mosquito is spreading malaria and dengue. Now, I want to discuss with you some diseases, that human diseases and causing its microbes, a mode of transmission, and what are the precaution should be taken. So first is the tuberculosis. Its causative microbes are bacteria. Its mode of transmission, it is infected through air. Then second one is the measles. It has the causative microbe virus and it is spreading. Its mode of transmission is air. Next one is the chicken pox. You might have observed or experienced this chicken pox. Its causative microbes are virus and its mode of transmission is either air or contact. Next one is the polio. Polio patients, right now in India the cases are less, okay, but you have seen on the television Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. He's the brand ambassador of Indian government, and he's always giving the advertisement. So this polio, it is spread by virus, and it is spreading through air or water. So this four diseases I told, it has the common preventive measure. Okay, so how we can stop the spreading? We can take the precaution. We have to keep the patient in complete isolation. Now you know, students, what is meant by isolation. It is either isolation or quarantine. This is the gift of COVID-19 that gave us the gift. We very well we came to know what is meant by isolation and quarantine. Okay, keep the personal belongings of the patient away from those of others. Vaccination to be given at suitable age. Vaccination already we have discussed in previous lesson, and that time I told what is meant by vaccination. Now we will move towards next disease, that is cholera. It is spread by bacteria. It may be spread by either water or food. Typhoid is also one human disease. It is causes through bacteria, and its mode of transmission is water. In both the cases, what preventive measures we have to take? Maintain personal hygiene and good sanitary habits. Sanitary habits, you well known, you are aware about the sanitary habits. Sanitary habits means whenever you are going for the washroom, you are supposed to wash your hands with hand wash or soap. Okay, students, in that personal hygiene, you are supposed to bring or keep with you daily new handkerchief and use it properly. When you are sneezes, you are having the cough, that time use that handkerchief. Now consume properly cooked food and boiled water. Also vaccination is also play important role in these two diseases. Now we will move towards our next disease, that is hepatitis B. It is spread by virus, and its mode of transmission is water. Then last one is the malaria. Its causative microbes are protozoa, and its mode of transmission is mosquito. So preventive measures are use mosquito nets and repellents, spray insecticides, and control breeding of mosquito by not allowing water to the surrounding. So you have to take care of these things, then we can prevent from these diseases. Now we will see general preventive measures against microbial diseases. So this diseases, right now we are facing the coronavirus, students. So this one is new for us. Coronavirus is totally new for this world actually. But whatever the diseases I told you, for example, it was the cholera, chickenpox, then tuberculosis, even polio, lots of diseases. There is possibility to spreading of these diseases. What we are supposed to do, what preventions we are supposed to take, then there is possibility to stop spreading these diseases. First one, wash vegetables and fruits properly before eating. It's very common thing. Mothers are always keeping fruits on dining table, and what children are doing, they're taking from the dining table and directly they can eat. So before this, now you are in 8th standard, you have to inculcate this habit in your life, as well as if your siblings with you and whoever. So you are supposed to communicate with them, always first of all wash the fruits and then eat it. Boil drinking water, particularly when there are chances of infection, and chances of infections are more in rainy season. So that time it is must to drink water. Before drinking the water, it should be boiled and filtered. Now one more precaution I want to suggest, that keep the patient in complete isolation. If the patient has infected by communicable disease, so we have to keep him in isolation, so that disease, their possibility is less to spread that disease. Keep the personal belongings of the patient away from those of the others. It is also very important, so infection will be less. Maintain personal hygiene and good sanitary habits. Already I have told you. Then vaccination to be given at suitable age to get immunity. So the fruitfulness of vaccination is definitely to increase your immunity. I want to suggest you students, you have to discuss with you in your relatives, with your parents, and to whom you are in contact. So they will have that awareness. Vaccination is also very, very important to improve the immunity. Okay. Now, maintain good sanitation in the community. For this you can plan role play. Okay students, suppose the students or the children, they are staying in a society, you can collect them, gather them, you can discuss with them, and to improve the sanitary habits you can play a role play. Okay. Now do not eat stale food. So this is also very important thing students, and this message you have to convey to your mother, because I have observed lots of time mothers are doing such things, and they are used to eat stale food. Means they don't want to throw it, and that's why they are eating, but that are dangerous to our health. Okay. Now protect yourself from mosquito bites by using mosquito nets and mosquito repellent creams. This is also very important in case of malaria and dengue. Okay, it has the that causative microbes are mosquitoes, so mosquito net, to use mosquito net, the creams and that repellent, that bat you can use for the mosquitoes, so it will be less harmful to us. Do not allow the water collect in the surroundings. Prevent breeding of mosquitoes from entering our homes. This is also one preventive measure. If we will do this, definitely there is chance of less spreading diseases. Now, diseases causing microorganisms in animals and plants. You will have the question, this infection is only spreading in human beings? No students, it is spreading in human beings as well as animals and plants. So several microorganisms not only causes diseases in humans and plants but also in other animals. Example, anthrax is a dangerous disease which is found in human as well as cattle, caused by a bacterium. Okay, and one more, foot and mouth disease of cattle is caused by virus. Now we will discuss about the plants. Several microorganisms cause diseases in plants like wheat, rice, potato, sugarcane, orange, apple, and others. So what happen if the that infection is done in crops? What is the disadvantage? Definitely, if they are infected, means if crops are infected, definitely the disease reduce the yield of crop. So this was done for the diseases and its effects on human beings, animals, and plants we have seen. Now we will move towards our next topic, that is food poisoning. Food poisoning is harmful, and it is generally found if stale food is there, and if we will eat it, then there is more possibility of food poisoning. And how this has happened actually? Microorganisms that grow on food sometimes produce toxic substances which are harmful to our body, our health. That toxic substances produced by microorganisms make the food poisonous. Okay, so that poisonous causing serious illness called food poisoning. That is food poisoning. Bacteria causing food poisoning, that Staphylococci and Clostridium. These are the bacteria which are responsible for the food poisoning. Fungi causes food poisoning, and the example of fungi are Aspergillus and Penicillium. Now this what precaution we have to take for the when there is the case of, or when there is the possibility of food poisoning. We have to eat fresh food, and definitely food should be covered. Okay students, food should be always covered, and within a specific time period you are supposed to eat that food. Now we will move towards the food preservation. First of all, the process by which spoilage of food prevented using chemical or physical method is called food preservation, and the substances which are using this process in this food preservation, that are called as preservatives. So first of all we will discuss about the chemical method. By chemical method, how the preservation of food is taking place. Salts and edible oils. Okay, salts and edible oils are the common chemicals generally used to check the growth of microorganisms. Therefore they are called preservatives. Salt and edible oils, these are the two examples I have given. Generally it is used as a preservative in foods. We add salt and acid preservatives to pickles. You might have heard that salts, edible oils and acid. In this term, in acid, your mother, your grandmother are used vinegar. You know, vinegar means acetic acid. They are used as a preservatives when they are making the pickles. So this salt, edible oil and vinegar, they are stopped to growth of microorganism, and in this way the preservation of pickle is taking place. Now preservation by common salt. So this to use common salt is very general method, and even nowadays in rural area of our country, this common salt is using as a preservative. So when they want to encounter the problem of microorganism and they want to preserve their food, they are using common salt. Now common salt has been used to preserve meat and fish for ages. Meat and fish are covered with dry salt to check the growth of bacteria. Salting is also used to preserve amla, raw mangoes, tamarind, etc. Even I am using salt for preservation of the tamarind. You can ask your mother, okay? Now we will move towards we have seen the edible oil, then acid, oil, even salt. Now we will move towards the preservation by sugar. This one also you have seen at your home, you know, students. So jams, jellies and squashes. That is, I think we people are calling raw mangoes we are using, that murabba. In that case also your mother is used sugar for the preservation. So what is exact role of sugar? What sugar is doing? So preservation by sugar. Sugar reduces the moisture. Sugar reduces the moisture content which inhibits the growth of bacteria which spoil food. So what is the role of sugar? It inhibits, it stops the growth of bacteria, and that's why the spoilage of food is stopped there, and it preserve, simultaneously it preserve. So preservation by oil and vinegar, it is already we have discussed. Now we will move towards the heat and cold treatment. Okay, boiling kills many microorganisms. That's why we are suggesting or I am suggesting you to drink water. Before drinking water, it should be boiled. Why it should be boiled? Because in that process the microorganisms are killed. Now boiling kills many microorganisms. Similarly, we keep our food in the refrigerator. So both the cases, boiling means to increase the temperature, and refrigerator, what is refrigerator? It is reducing the temperature. It has the less temperature, we are setting it, and we keeping the food, then milk, means the edible things we are keeping in that refrigerator. So in low temperature as well as in very high temperature, the growth of microorganism is less. Now low temperature inhibits the growth of bacteria. Now the milk is heated to about 70 degrees Celsius for 15 to 30 minutes and rapidly or suddenly chilled and stored. By doing so, it prevents the growth of microbes. This process is called pasteurization. Might be you have heard pasteurization and you're getting the milk from the market, pasteurized milk. So in this process, that milk is pasteurized. So storage and packing, this is also one method by which we can preserve the food. These days, dry fruits and even vegetables, students, even vegetables are sold in sealed airtight packets to prevent the attack of microbes. So what they are doing? The microorganism they are reducing, and airtight packet they are used for the preservation. There also the growth of microorganism stop. Now students, we will discuss about nitrogen cycle. Our atmosphere has 78% nitrogen gas. Nitrogen is one of the most essential constituent of all living organism. As part of proteins, chlorophyll, then nucleic acids and vitamins. The atmospheric nitrogen cannot be taken directly by plants and animals. Certain bacteria and blue-green algae present in the soil fix nitrogen from the atmosphere and convert it into soluble, simpler nitrogen compound, that is nitrates, is then used of the synthesis of plant proteins and other compounds. When plants and animals die, what happen actually, the atmospheric nitrogen is taken by, it is actually converted by bacteria into simpler nitrate compound. That simpler nitrate compounds is taken by plants, that plants are eaten by animals, so it comes in the body of plants as well as animals. When plants and animals die, bacteria and fungi present in the soil convert the nitrogen wastes into nitrogenous compound. So to be used by plants again, certain other bacteria convert some part of them to nitrogen gas, which goes back to the atmosphere. As a result, the percentage of nitrogen in the atmosphere remains more or less constant. So this was our second lesson, students. Microorganisms, friends and foe. I hope all of you have understood the concept. If you are having any query, any doubt, please ask me in comment section. You can personally WhatsApp me. Please do subscribe the channel and stay home. Be safe.